I 31 separated from my fiancée 29 a year ago after I found her cheating on me with a mutual friend. Now we are going to be in the same workplace. It was an 8-year relationship, and traumatic at that time. I was preparing for my physician exams and interview for fellowship training. We haven't seen each other since. I just found out that she will be spending 10 weeks working at the same department where I'll be undertaking my fellowship training for the next 6 months. Any advice is much appreciated. I have spent the past year making progress in my career research projects, postgraduate education. Not sure if I have the courage to start seeing someone again. Redditor's reactions, story 2 after. Redditor 1. There's a few different ways you can handle this. First, ignore her completely. Act as if she doesn't exist. Don't speak to her, don't interact with her, don't do anything with her. This may be difficult though, depending on the level of interaction needed for your fellowship. Second, only interact with her on a professional level. Act professional, and straight to the point. Only discuss work-related stuff. If she tries to talk to you or interact in any other way, walk away. Lastly, limit interaction as much as possible to work. You could be cordial and say hello or goodbye, but limit these interactions to a minimum. Avoid all out-of-work interactions. Only you can decide what you will do. Good luck. Op answer. Thank you so much. Ignoring her completely will not be possible, as I'll be required to take part in supervision of junior doctors within the department. Will follow your advice and keep communication to strictly professional. Redditor 2. I would advise you to follow these 3 steps based on your post and your comments stating that you will be in a superior position to her. 1. Inform HR, your superiors, of what happened, before she even starts. This way you are informing them of a conflict of interest and worst-case scenario, protects you from accusations she might bring forth towards you. 2. Only speak to her when necessary, and only on a professional level. 3. Try to avoid being alone with her. There should always be somebody there as a protective shield. Why? It hopefully prevents her from trying to speak to you about your relationship, etc., and in case something goes wrong you always have a witness. Info: do you have to evaluate her work in some kind of way? Redditor follow-up: this is great advice, Op. I really have nothing to add, except to also inform your work colleagues of the bare details and tell them you will not be doing anything with them in any sort of social environment after work if she is also going. Be professional, aloof and distant at work, 0 contact away from work. Redditor 3, keep your interactions strictly professional. If she tries to go beyond that, just politely let her know you'd like to keep your communication to professional matters only. Any further pursuance and you can let HR know if gets bad or uncomfortable. Story 2, wife 43F, cheated on me 41M with 29M co-worker. I've been with my wife for the past 22 years. Met in year 2000, got married in 03, died to a surprise pregnancy. We have 2 girls, 18F and 11F. Recently, I just found out she has been cheating on me with a younger co-worker since 2018. I actually found out because she went out on her birthday for a supposedly team event, but I found her 150 km south of her actual event. She screwed up because she forgot we recently activated family location sharing in Google due to our eldest starting college. So, everyone can see where everyone else is. They've been having time at various hotels, his parents' house and in his car all throughout 2018 until 2022. Although COVID put a halt on it a bit, but whenever the restrictions were lifted, they continued on. In 2019, she actually got pregnant with his kid and had an abortion. She even kept a digital copy of the ultrasound. I also just found, 2 days back, literally hundreds of pictures of her in various stages of undress that she has sent to him. Some of the pictures were even from when we as a family went on vacation. She snuck out and took pictures. There was also a screen grab of them having videos time while me and the kids were downstairs doing game night. I've confronted both of them, and I've even gone and seen his parents as he still lives with them. The parents said that they noticed he was a bit close to my wife, but they didn't know they were having time. They told me I had every right to beat the acid out of him. The part where I need advice is, I've been with her for 22 years. Even through this massive betrayal, I still have some love for her. I fucking hate myself because of this. I want to divorce her, but the thought of leaving her and screwing up the kid's life has made me second guess myself whether we should go our separate ways. I want my youngest to have a normal life. I want my eldest to not stress out herself with this acid show and potentially ruin her education. I fucking hate myself right now for still being in love with her even though she was knocked up by another man. She even asked me to choose her dress for the event she was supposedly going for. I chose the dress my wife wore for her ducking candlelight birthday dinner. Yet I still have feelings for her. I hate myself, I goddamn hate myself. Do I just suck it up for the next 6 or 10 years until my youngest finishes her high school or university education? Do I forgive her and be together? Redditors reactions, story 3 after. Redditor 1, what are you going to tell your daughters to do if they end up in the same situation? Stay with someone that has no love or respect for them. Risk getting an STI. Always feel like crap and unloved and unwanted because they need to care more about a selfish, cruel person than to have respect for themselves. Be very careful what you are teaching and modeling for your girls. Op answer, thanks for your advice. The kids don't know yet. They just know mom and dad are fighting. Redditor 2, there will be no coming back from this. Never. The length of time is insurmountable. Get out. Redditor follow-up, plus the degree of attachment. Keeping the ultrasound has some heavy implications. Redditor 3, you are using the kids as an excuse. Don't teach them that cheating is okay and has no consequence. She is the one that deserted the family. Any damage is on her. Not you? You know if you stay, you'll never be happy, fulfilled, respected. Everyone will be miserable. I'm curious how she reacted to you finding out. She's not just cheating. This wasn't a one-time mistake. This was a relationship, and you are the safety net, the fallback option. I'm going to use a comment I used for a similar post. Please rank in order which parts of her you're most desperately in love with. 1. The lies, 2. The disrespect, 3. The betrayal, 4. The manipulation, 5. The rug sweeping, 6. The codependency, 7. The cruelty, 8. The dishonor, 9. The ability to make you look like a fool, 10. The ease with which she eradicates trust, 11. Her lack of love for you, 12. Her priorities, 13. Her loose ways, 14. The disregard, 15. Her arrogance. Redditor 4, has your wife shown any regret? I think you should and must divorce your wife. She has been cheating from 2018, that's 4 years, and she never had any regrets. I don't think your kids should be in influence of such a liar. You will never be able to trust her. I know you love her, but what has she given you in return? If you stay you will regret it, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon and for the rest of your life. Story 3, my nightmare life. All comments welcome. My current life is nothing short of a nightmare. Here is my story. My first real Reddit post. I'm 35M and my wife is 33F, we were high school sweethearts, married for 12 years and together for 15. We have 3 kids together, wonderful healthy kids. She grew up in an extreme Christian household where time wasn't a topic of discussion but more of a taboo. You save yourself for marriage, husband, and figure out the rest later. So she did. Her first time was on our wedding night. We had a healthy marriage, or so I thought anyways. Always made time to talk and listen to each other. I work away from home, so I'm gone every other week. We both have great jobs and are doing well financially. After we decided we were done having kids, we talked about breast implants, seeing my wife's body change so much for giving us our children, and decided to go ahead with surgery. Very nice indeed, certainly helped my wife gain her confidence back about herself. I've always been into fitness and going to the gym, so we bought some workout equipment at home and she began to use them. While she made great progress and she wanted to share that with others, so she talked to me about wanting to make an Instagram fitness page to show her journey. I shared my concerns with that and the negative attention that will bring, but ultimately decided to support my wife's new hobby. I get home from work one day on International Women's Day a few months later to my wife crying and telling me she needs to show me something. Someone had sent her a nude picture of herself, a bikini photo she had uploaded to Instagram, saying they found it on a PRN site, and just wanted to let you know, when in reality they used a Nudify app to generate the image. This killed me inside, seeing the pain it caused my wife. We talked about getting rid of Instagram, but this was not enough for her to do that. Over the next few months her posts changed from helping people and documenting her journey to showing her body off with less clothing. August 2021. I have my own health concerns with left testicle pain that lasted for 2 months, many trips to the doctor, and having an ultrasound clears me of cancer. What a relief. In the meantime my wife starts becoming emotionally distant and I'm trying to figure out why. In October I'm still struggling big time with my libido and drive for life. I get tested for low testosterone and it comes back well below low normal average. Doctor tells me they need a second test before starting on hormone replacement. The second test comes back in November at the low normal cutoff limits, and they tell me they can't proceed with treatment and that I'm fine but recommend antidepressants, which I decline. That week I get another blood test from a hormone replacement clinic and book in for consultation in early January. Early 2021 rolls around and my wife loses her uncle and her grandmother 7 days apart, a major loss for the family. I come home from work early and take extra time off work to support my wife because she isn't doing well at all. It killed me inside having to go back to work after 2 weeks knowing my wife is still grieving such loss. January 2022, I get approved for my hormone replacement therapy and take my first shot of testosterone Jan 13th. 2 weeks later I'm already feeling like I haven't in a very long time. We go on a trip to Mexico for 2 weeks and I'm having the time of my life with our children. My wife tells me that she can't believe the changes I've made in literally 3 weeks and that I'm a 10/10 dad and husband. A few weeks later I'm at work again and I'm reading articles on emotionally distant spouses and midlife crisis. I send her those links and she agrees that does sound like her, but she's hot sure why. I then come across an article that read the top 25 signs your wife is having an affair. I'm reading this and am blown away that my wife has 22-25 in my opinion. I decide I'm going to confront her of this, but not until I'm home. March 10th D-Day, we go out on a date night and I genuinely had a great time. I sit her down and tell her I'm going to talk for 15 minutes and want you to listen and you'll have plenty of time to reply. I read her the top 25 signs and she says, wow, I can't believe you think some of those of me. I reply telling her this is the time to clear your soul and whatever has been bothering you needs to come out. I thought it was a drunken one-night stand from the summer. The tears start to pour and the long silence develops before she tells me she has been having an online time affair though Instagram Sep 7 deck, showing herself to another man lives overseas while he pleasured himself. I'm in disbelief that she could do this, but I think it's something we can reconcile over pretty quickly. I then tell her if there's anything else that it needs to come out now. She tells me this is going to kill us and cries even harder now, followed by minutes of her not taking. I'm preparing for the worst. She tells me she is having an affair. AP met on Instagram, and it started a week after her grandmother's funeral and only a few days after I took extra time off work to be home. It was only a few times, she said. It ended in January. As I come to find out, this is normal for only half-truths to come out and only as much information as to limit the damage and fallout effect of the affair. A few days of seriously talking all day and night with no sleep, all the details start to come out that the affair was alive and very much active until the night I confronted her of it. Thousands of text messages and averaging 4 hours of phone calls a day. They would meet in random parking lots in the back of a truck, hotels, AP's home, and the last time in my own home. I spent the night with our 3 children sleeping upstairs while I'm away at work. 11 confirmed times in 2.5 months, but as high as 15-20 as she can't remember all the dates. She told me she was headed to the gym but in reality meeting him in a parking lot. She has a IUD, no condoms were used. I asked her to pack her stuff and move out. The kids had the worst week of their lives. Here we are today, both going to individual counseling and have a first MC scheduled for next week. She basically told me she had written me off and we were going down the path of divorce. Cheating is never justified in her eyes until I made a miraculous turnaround by my hormone replacement, and this drove the guilt and shame even harder of what she was doing. She started her personal counseling while she was in the middle of the affair. There's been no contact with AP since March 18th. She's regretful, remorseful and wants to do anything to make this work. She is back in the house. She has been tested for HIV and pregnancy. She's reluctant to have time or even kiss me, and through open discussion has admitted she is having a very hard time getting over the affair feelings and the withdrawal from it. AP33M has 0 assets, can't hold a job down and lives in an apartment with his mom. What about my needs? Obviously not wanting to be a doormat here. I'm not wanting this to work just for the children either. Questions, comments, concerns all welcome. Cheers. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, I think it is a common theme in cheating cases that show that is not a thing of being weak-willed or having a lapse in judgment, but all about having a selfish personality. When the cheating partner is having a hard time, the BS does her best to be there and help them recover. When the BS is having any kind of problem, no matter how mild, they jump ship. You were there for her, as you should, when those loses happened. When you were going through your testicular issue and low testosterone counts, she starts thinking, well, this is going to end in divorce, I should just start looking for something new instead of trying to fix the relationship. She would rather throw 15 years and 3 kids together to the trash rather than put in some work. However, your health issues manifested in your relationship causing problems. They didn't came out of nowhere. You both knew why was it happening and you were getting treatment for it, and yet she didn't have your back. She was just looking after herself. Luckily it wasn't cancer, but if it had been, or if you were to lose someone in your family and get depressed for a while, will she take time and make efforts to be with you and help you be better, or will she ditch you and seek to have her needs met by any random follower of her Insta? She didn't just fail her promise to be faithful, but also being there in sickness and in health too. Want to bet what would happen if you tested the other ones? If you lost your job and couldn't get another one, would she uphold the for richer or for poorer one? This woman won't have your back when things go bad. Redditor 2, she brought him to your house and had time in your bed. There is no coming back from that. Imagine the level of disrespect. That's a big FU. No affair fog excuse can justify that. That's designed humiliation, probably laughing at you in your own house. Nah, man, she's got to go. Redditor 3, she won't have time with you because she doesn't want to cheat on the person she really wants, her AP. Redditor follow-up, this was exactly my ex-wife. Stopped all intimacy with me because she'd be cheating on AP. What a huge piece of sour pea she really is. Redditor 4, dude, you got demoted to option B and without time, that's even worse. Sounds like she's mourning her AP, and making you still suffer. I don't know why you let her back in. If she truly wants to make it work, she will learn how to forget about AP and bounce back to her longtime partner, but she doesn't appear to be doing that. I have a feeling she'll be at it again.